But it looks like this game is starting off. Abe starts with just a Pichu, and Joseph is going for it. Could we see another horrendous game on stream? Could we see a turn 1 victory for Joseph? This would be devastating for Abe. He just has the 30 hit point Pichu. Oh, here's the Tornadus EX. Does Joseph have the cards needed to pull off this first turn victory? You know, even a double colorless and a plus power would get a knockout here with Tail Wrap. You just need 1 heads. He's going to use Dark Patch, but he cannot use that on a normal Pokemon. He needs to be on a Dark Pokemon. He's putting it on the Sableye. So now if he had like a Shaman... Oh man, this has got to be stressful for Abe. And it looks like Joseph is going to retreat. He's got to discard that energy off the Smeargle though. And we're going to see a Dark Patch. Looks like Abe will survive, but Joseph really needs to discard that dark energy off the Smeargle. I'm in an awkward position here. I know what's happening. I need to go say something, though. I will go inform the judge. I will be right back. Don't do anything crazy, Abe. I'll be right back. Bam! Caught that right on stream. See, we're making the games better. So.
I think what we'll do is we'll call him just your floor judge. That's perfectly legit. So.
Okay. Alright. So, I have been upgraded to floor judge because I can see what's happening. Alright. So, we just got to make sure everything's going well. We can see everything happening on camera, so there's no reason to just let things like that slide. Need to fix those things when we see them. So now Abe will play Collector. Thankfully, Abe takes very long in his turn, so I didn't miss anything when I was gone. I could have taken like 2 minutes, and he would still be shuffling for his Collector. I don't know if he showed what basics he got, though. Alright, we got 2 Oddishes and a Vanillite. And a Tropical Beach. Okay. So he actually does not... That's actually my Tropical Beach. I gave it to him. I better get that back. That card costs a lot of money, man. Don't bend that card too much, Abe. I'm gonna go out and yell at him. No, I'm not. But, yeah, Abe will use Tropical Beach to refill his hand to 7 cards. He does not use Pichu, which I'm sure Joseph would have wanted, because he could then get his Eevee out and then get his Espeon. So Espeon's going to be the big thing here. Can Joseph get it out? And it just... everything went quiet here for a second. I didn't want to talk too loud, because then they might hear me. I am in another room, but I don't know how loud I am. I don't know if they can hear me or not. So, I gotta be careful not to let them hear me. We do see this Tornadus EX coming up for Joseph now. He Dark Patches onto the Sableye. Wasn't paying attention. Did he retreat for free again? I'm sure he used a switch or something. So he's going to be looking for a Shaman here, I think. So we're going to see N, which is good because Abe just did use Tropical Beach. So brings him from a 7-card hand down to a 6-card hand. Might not seem like a big deal, but it could be. So here's a Crushing Hammer. Of course, Joseph wants to play these while he still can. And he's going to discard that water. That could actually turn out to be a pretty big deal. I could slow Abe down by a turn, and that slowing down by a turn could end up just slowing everything down and make Abe give up another prize, and then that could end up costing Abe the game. So this is the 4th round. There were 16 Masters today. This is the last round of Swiss. After this, we'll have a top 4 cut. So I would assume both players are safe to make it into the top 4, but you never know. Tiebreakers can be weird. We could have a situation where there are 4 3-1 players, and then from there, one of them could miss. So right now we do see Abe playing in Communication. He shuffles in the Blossom. And are we going to see a turn 2 Vileplume out of Abe? It certainly could happen. So if Abe does get the Vileplume out before Joseph manages to get Espeon out, that would be a really big deal. Because the only way Joseph can search for Espeon would be Ultra Ball, which is a trainer, which Vileplume shuts off. So, looks like Abe does get that Vileplume into play. Turn 2 Vileplume is very good. And he's going to be able to Tropical Beach. He's going to take a look at the Tornadus EX. I do apologize. Abe is notorious for taking very long turns, which really won't bode well for him in top 4. Vanillix is pretty bad in timed situations. Looks like we have a Sage from Abe as well. So he's going to take 2 cards and discard 3. He's probably going to discard any trainers he sees there. Looks like he's going to get rid of... Couldn't really see. One of them is a Water Energy, though. And there's a Vanillish, so... Absolutely superb start from Abe. A turn 2 Vileplume with the Vanillish. And he's going to be able to use Tropical Beach as well to refill his hand to 7 cards. That is an unbelievable turn from Abe. He really couldn't ask for much better. If you're Joseph, I'm not sure what you do besides try to get that darn Espeon into play. If Joseph can't manage to get the Espeon out, I think Abe has a great chance of winning this game. I would actually say he is the clear favorite to win this game if Joseph does not get the Espeon into play. It all hinges on this. Will Espeon come into play? Of course, the ability prevents all effects of attacks done to any of your Pokemon that have energy attached to them. So, that would prevent Vanillix's paralysis, which would in effect end Abe's entire strategy for his deck. But there we have the Vanillix. The Double Freeze will begin. The Ice Age will resume this turn for Abe. Double Freeze, you flip 2 coins. If either is heads, it does 40 for each heads and then paralysis. And then you get to reflip with Victory Star. So you really get 2 shots at it, and you need 1 out of 4 heads to just paralyze your opponent, and you'll do 40 every turn and paralyze, and then eventually you'll knock them out. And when you knock out EXs, you get 2 prizes, so Vanillix is pretty good against EXs. So really, as long as Joseph gets Espeon out before he gives up too many prizes, I think he will win this game. However, if he never manages to get Espeon into play, that could be a problem. Now, one potential situation that could come up is if Abe keeps flipping for Double Freeze and manages to knock out this Tornadus EX. Joseph could then promote his Smeargle and use Portrait. And then if Abe had a Twins in his hand, Joseph could actually use Twins and search his deck for the Espeon line. Now, of course, we don't know whether or not Espeon is prized. Of course, this is a 1-1 line. If it's prized, Abe is probably going to win this game. If it's not, it's going to be a race. Can Joseph get it out before he gives up too many prizes? Here we have the first double freeze of the game. Looks like those one tails and another tails. So we're going to reflip with Victory Star. There is a heads and another heads. Alright, so that's 80 damage from the first double freeze, and that will be paralysis as well. Looks like Joseph puts his Tornadus EX to sleep. That's okay. Paralysis is the other direction, but we'll let it slide. I'm not going to go out and call him out on that one. Okay, so Joseph, he's got to be digging for that Eevee. And he doesn't have anything, he just has to pass. And this is what happens when the Vanillix lock begins. You start to paralyze your opponent. They cannot switch out because Vileplume prevents trainers from being played. And all you can really do is pass. You can't attack, you can't retreat, you can't do anything. This is why Joseph has added the Espeon in his deck to begin with. He is tired of his Pokemon being frozen in place. He wants Espeon there to use the power of the sun to shield them from the freezing cold. And unfortunately, Espeon is not with him right now. So all he's going to have to do for now is hope that Abe flips 4 tails for a double freeze. So Abe will play an Oak's New Theory and draw 6 cards. Does get another energy on the benched Vanillite. Now, something interesting I see about Abe's version is I don't see any rescue energy out there right now. I'm sure he plays some, but rescue energy is really important to the Vanillix deck. Your Vanillix will be knocked out eventually. The important thing is that you get it back with rescue energy. When you get knocked out and you have this rescue energy attached to your Pokemon, you get to return all the Pokemon back to your hand instead of having them go to the discard pile. So, in effect, you have a never-ending stream of Vanillixes because, well, they just always come back to your hand. So I can't tell if there's a rescue on that Vanillix right now, but he really needs to get rescue energy into play. So it looks like Abe is going to look over his field, and what's going on here? He's actually retreating his Vanillix. It's sending up a Vanillite. I am extremely confused. I have no idea what's happening right now. Looks like he puts a Prism energy on the Vanillix. And a Cleffa. Well, color me confused, folks. I have not a clue what's happening right now. He is sending out this Vanillite and using Beat for 10. Looks like he's getting the knockout with that. Okay. Huh. Well, that was confusing. This is going to give Joseph a chance to use Night Spear and knock out a Vanillite and a Cleffa now. I don't know what Abe was thinking benching the Cleffa. Really confusing play, to be honest. This could give Joseph the opening he needs to come back on this game. Maybe Abe just doesn't know what Darkrai does. Looks like Joseph plays another Juniper. His deck is getting fairly thin. Still no sight of that Eevee either. But we have another energy coming on to Darkrai. And who's he going to go after? Is he going to go after the Vanillix or the Cleffa? Now, I actually think he should target down the Vanillix for 30, if I'm Joseph here. But he goes for the Victini, also a viable option. I would actually try to soften up the Vanillix if I were Joseph. That way I can hit it for 100 later with another Night Spear with a special dart from Darkrai. So we have another Victini. Oh, this is really bad for Abe. I don't know what he's thinking here. He's now filled his bench with the worthless things. You always need to have a second ice cream cone ready to scoop up the remains of your fallen comrade. Because you have a stage 2 Pokemon. It takes time to build up another stage 2, so if this Vanillix gets knocked out, what is he gonna do? Oof. Bad bench management from Abe here. This could end up costing him the game. Unless he plays something like Seeker to kind of rectify the situation. It looks like he's going to use Eek. Maybe his hand was pretty bad there. I don't know what the story is, but if you're Abe, you're going to actually hope for Cleffa to wake up here, I think. I don't really know. Either way, your Victini is getting knocked out this turn, I think. So Abe will draw 6. This will be a big flip here for Cleffa. If it stays asleep, Darkrai won't be able to attack it, and it does stay asleep. But it's still going to be able to hit that Victini on the bench. So a lot of really strange plays coming out of Abe here. I don't know what's going through his head. He has the Vanillix ready. He's just choosing not to attack. And let's see here. Looks like Joseph decides to put 30 on the Vanillix this time. And Abe stays asleep. Ugh, I have no idea what's going on here, folks. My mind is being blown by the second. But now he's putting 30 on the Vanillix. This will set up for later for a Night Spear knockout. It looks like Abe tried to play Twins. He cannot. They are tied. Twins only works when you are losing the game, unfortunately. So right now, we're going to have to see what's going to happen here. We do have a collector. Looks like Abe's just going to thin his deck out here. I'm not sure if he should do that. He probably could have had a better turn just using Tropical Beach to draw cards. So he grabs 2 more Vanillites and a Victini. And the Cleffa does wake up. Right? That was a 6. There we go. Okay. So we're probably going to see Joseph get a double prize here this turn. He's going to knock out the Cleffa and the Victini. And then the Vanillix has 30 on it already. This is getting very dicey for Abe. He's going to need to set up another Vanillix very soon. Puts down the V-Create Victini. Not sure why. Gets another Vanillite. That's what he needs. And there we go. We do have a Twins for Abe. So we can search his deck and draw, or grab any 2 cards he wants. I'm not sure what he really needs at this point. Maybe he can get the Blossom. That would allow him to remove some of the damage done by Darkrai. With Hustle Step, allows you to remove 1 damage counter from each of your Pokemon every turn. And yes, there is Blossom. Throws another energy down on that Vanillite. Let's see if he remembers to use Hustle Step. Is he gonna do it? Yes, okay. He uses Hustle Step. And here comes the double freeze. There's a Tails. And a second Tails. Here's a Victory Star. That is Tails. And a Heads, okay. So dramatic, but yes, he does do 40 damage and paralyze the Darkrai. So where is that darn Espeon? Still not showing its face. And looks like Joseph just attaches and passes. Abe does get another Vanillish out there. So Joseph, he still could lose this game. He probably will lose this game, actually, if he doesn't get that Espeon out there. He's going to give up... let's see. He's going to give up these 2 prizes if the Vanillix does get knocked out. Or the Darkrai does get knocked out by the Vanillix. That'll bring Abe to 2 prizes. That means all he has to do is knock out 1 more EX. Whereas Joseph has to knock out 2 more Vanillixes, which currently he can't even do. The Blossom's Hustle Step is removing damage from the Vanillix every turn. Oh, and by the time Joseph gets a shot at this Vanillix, it's going to have no damage on it. That's 130 hit points. And yeah, this is just showing off how good Vanillix really is against Darkrai. Even though Abe made some questionable plays like this one, reflipping, even though he got 1 heads. We had some confusion there. Looks like Abe will accept his 1 heads now. Getting a little too trigger happy on the flips. But, yeah, looks like Abe, even though he made a couple questionable plays, he's still in a good position to win this game. Of course, he did have a great start. He had the turn 2 Vileplume with a Vanillish as well. And then we see a Shaman, so it's going to save the energy from this Darkrai. Still no Eevee. That is very strange. There we see another Vanillix. Okay. Sage's Training, that is a risky card to be playing with your deck solo there. But hopefully that won't end up biting him. And there is Rescue Energy in the top 5, so Abe does play Rescue. What is he doing? Oh, no. Abe, what are you doing? Looks like I'm going to have to come out there. 1 second, guys. and that, unfortunately, folks, is a game loss. So, looks like Abe is going to get a loss for that one, unfortunately. Go figure. 2 of the games we streamed today, people get game losses. Ay. Unfortunately, I couldn't run out there and stop him in time. Abe's okay with it. He also did get a win earlier from his opponent doing something like that, so unfortunate that 2 out of the 4 games someone managed to get a game loss, but that's just the way it is sometimes. People are human, they make mistakes. But from here, that was the last Swiss round. Joseph is the undefeated player with his Hammer Time deck. We didn't see Espeon come out, but that was weird. I wonder if it was prized. I'm assuming it was. Anyway, we will be moving on to the top 4 once the round ends. I'll fill in you guys on who made it. And then it'll be best 2 out of 3, 60 minutes for the top 4. Hopefully these should be some good games. Much better than the ones we've had so far. So, we're just going to wait. I believe Mike Leski is still playing. He is one of the 2-1 players. I'll fill you guys in to see if he won. We should have the standings up sometime soon. So, alright. Hang tight for that. I'm going to go grab my jacket because it is freezing in here. There's air conditioning just blowing on me. There must be a tornado in here somewhere, and I'll be right back.